So scholars have proven that the Bible isn't true. So why am I still a practitioner of Christianity and a pastor? Hi, I'm Jeremy. I'm a deep skeptic, also a pastor. So there's a lot of stuff in the Bible that shouldn't be there, that's not in the earliest translations. There's mistranslations. There's things that have been added. There's just all kinds of things that seem to be wrong with the biblical text. And that's not even approaching how difficult it can be to translate ancient dead languages into modern ones, when sometimes a word that is appearing in the ancient text is the only place it ever appears ever. When you put all that together, and that's academic consensus, that's like not hard to show any of that. And you look at that through sort of a modern historical lens, the text of the Bible just isn't reliable. But that's part of the problem, the putting it through a modern historical lens, because it wasn't written in the modern world. And I'm not going to sort of justify any of the things that are wrong with it, except to say that ancient spiritual texts have lasted, like the Bible and the Quran and the Bhagavad Gita and all of these things have lasted for hundreds of years, for millennia, have helped form people's lives and help them live more fruitful and fulfilling lives. And the question is, like, if it's not reliable, if it's not true, like, why have they stood the test of time? Well, it turns out that's just a very narrow definition of truth, right? That's saying that the Bible is true just because something happened. And here's the thing, like, these kind of texts don't last for thousands of years based on the fact that there was a specific person that actually lived in a specific place and the specific things happened. The reason that they've stood the test of time, the reason that they have informed people's lives for century or even millennia and helped those people process what's going on, is not because the things in them happened, right? They're not true because they happened. They're true because they happen. Right? They happen right now over and over. They're true because they talk about the human experience and they help understand what's going on in your life right now. The human experience that has spanned those millennia, the trials, the difficult things that people have struggled with all the way up until now. Basically, it's the difference between saying something is true like an instruction book or something is true like a poem. Poems help you process things at a much deeper level, and ancient spiritual texts are true in that sense. So if you want to spend your time trying to figure out if the things actually happened, that's fine. But if it turns out that they didn't, it's no less true and it's no less helpful. And in fact, like, getting to the truth of these ancient spiritual texts, that's the real good stuff, right? And you do that by listening to the scholars and unearthing, peeling back all the layers of confusion and ancient culture so that you can understand what it meant to the original people, and then say, okay, if it meant that to them, what does it mean to me? How does this help me understand my life? Or if you're not a study type person, if you don't like to nerd out on things, you can just read it. You can read it like everybody has throughout history and find the patterns and the words and the life stories of people that help you become the best version of yourself, that help you find a purpose greater than yourself. Because again, the truth is not because it has the most accurate whatever. Beowulf, Shakespeare, the Iliad, all ancient texts have all of these same kinds of translation errors that happen over time because they have lasted over time. In the Bible, Quran, these ancient texts, well, they've stood the test of time because they speak to the deep parts of our experience and help us become better people, and help us find a deeper reality, help us connect with something bigger than us, God, the universe, and find something that calls us outside of ourselves and grounds us in something bigger. That's what makes them true.